Just down the hill from Virginia State University lies one of the true treasures of this historic commonwealth. Petersburg is a centuries-old city that has survived so much, but its majestic homes stand proud to tell its history. The city dates back to 1645, when it was established as a trading post on the Appomattox River. In the years since, it survived a major fire, a historic siege during the Civil War, even a direct hit by tornado. Miraculously, much of its original architecture still stands.
There are buildings here of almost every type of architectural description you can think of. Everything from workers' cottages on up to some very, very grand mansions that were built by the tobacco barons and the cotton people and the people who owned the railroads.
Lucius Edwards is an archivist and historian with Virginia State University and says that the homes are more than just interesting architecture. They tell the city's story.
We have a unique architectural record of the development of Petersburg, the Atlantic world, and a city that was one of the premier tobacco cities in the United States during antebellum.
Visitors to the city are especially intrigued by its grand historic homes. Helen James, a realtor with Long & Foster, explains.
These homes are special because they're so large and they offer so much. I mean, they're 5,000 to 7,000 square feet. A lot of them, they're mansions.
This is the Sycamore Suite. It's a 2-room suite.
Tina Burtonshaw owns the High Street Inn,
Katharine Hepburn,
which counts Katharine Hepburn among its most famous past guests.
Fame for this room is that Katharine Hepburn stayed here in 1986. Apparently she and her driver and the lady she was traveling with had a fender bender close by, and they had to stay here overnight.
With 8,000 square feet, including a gentleman's parlor, ladies' parlor, and several elegant bedrooms,
The house is over 120 years old.
the home hosts overnight guests as well as holiday gatherings and tea parties. Built in 1891, it was originally the home of a couple with 6 children.
This is the day room or the dressing room. Often when groups come to stay at the house, if families take over the entire house, they'll all bring their chairs and they'll meet in here and socialize.
Burtonshaw says that lends a family feel that you wouldn't expect to find in a home this large.
So it has a warmth to it that most large homes sometimes don't carry. I think the decor is inviting. It's something that kind of takes you back in time a little bit.
And when we moved in, this room was really in shambles.
Just around the corner is the Thomas Wallace House, built in 1855. Ignatius Cregan and Rod Gibbons bought the house in 2003.
When we moved in, we completely redid this room.
When it had been vacant for 25 years and falling into disrepair. They have overseen an extensive restoration of its rooms.
We call the library.
And are proud to tell guests about the home's unique role in history.
All right, come on up the front steps and we'll show you where Lincoln and Grant met.
In 1865, President Abraham Lincoln and General Ulysses Grant met on the porch, overlooking a crowd of soldiers and residents.
So I think of this as one of the places where the war ended. Lincoln and Grant had only met 3 times in their lives, and this is probably the longest meeting they ever had.
Let's walk this way and I'll show you what we call the marble room because the floor is made of marble.
Dan Lipford owns the Nora Maury Fontaine Davidson House, which once served as a school for girls. The school is now recognized as the birthplace of Memorial Day, which started when Miss Davidson and her girls began decorating the graves of fallen soldiers. Lipford says that this grand home is made more special by its Petersburg location.
You have everything here or within a short distance that you would have in any major metropolitan area. Yet at the same time, you don't have near the traffic, you don't have near the congestion and things like that that you would have in a city twice or 3 times, 4 times this size.
This house has so much charm.
Handy Lindsay's home on Adams Street was built in 1842 and has its own quiet history.
When the house that I live in was being restored, the workmen discovered a cannonball embedded in the fireplace.
During the Civil War, when roads were often blocked, even the cemetery was beyond citizens' reach. As a result, Captain John Pollard lies buried in the backyard of his former family home.
And it leads right into the dining room, but before
Lindsay
we get
says
there,
the home's 12-foot ceilings, pocket doors, and natural lighting made it attractive, but the price made it irresistible.
My house, if it were in Richmond, would cost at least twice as much. If it were in Washington, D.C., it would cost 3 to 4 times as much. So it's really a bargain to have a house of such beauty, such grace, and character for a very affordable price. So that's why we chose Petersburg.
Above the doorways and the windows are hand-carved leaves.
The McElwain house was built on Wythe Street near the turn of the 19th century. When a road project threatened its original site in 1972, the house was moved to the heart of Old Town Petersburg.
If you look at this door, for instance,
Alexander Graham purchased the home in 2009 and is especially proud of its interior woodwork,
this is a sunburst.
which has caught the attention of historical architects at the Smithsonian Institution.
My carpenters carved these by hand.
He says that buying the home was not just a point of personal pride, but a sound business decision.
The housing stock in Petersburg is a great investment for the future. The price of the housing for the square footage and the quality of the properties is superb. And I believe personally that my investment dollars will be well rewarded in the future.
With so much available for so little money, Petersburg has been called Virginia's best-kept secret. But that secret is getting out, and renewed interest in the city is sparking a renaissance.
Come to the city, walk around, ask questions. There are people in the city of Petersburg who can answer those questions. You could really have a great time in Petersburg doing historical things, great restaurants and everything else. It's really a nice place to be.